But first, Habiba Sarobi has already made history in Afghanistan when she became the first female governor back in 2005. 9 years on, she's set her sights even higher and is campaigning to become the country's vice president in next month's elections. But it's a tough road ahead in a society where women's rights are constantly under threat.
She's become the symbol of women's liberation across the country. A two-time minister and former governor of Bamiyan province for 8 years, Habiba Sarobi is one of the most experienced female politicians in Afghanistan. In a few weeks, she could be the country's first female vice president if Zalmay Rasool, the presidential candidate she has teamed with, wins. Today she's out and about campaigning at this school. Most of the students here are from the Hazara ethnic community, who have long been more favourable to women's rights.
You're all management students then?
Yes, I'm doing my bachelor's degree here.
I'm very happy to meet you in person.
Women shouldn't be silent in any situation. You should always have a voice. If you can, speak up. Don't rely on men to speak on your behalf.
Habiba promises to address gender discrimination if elected. She also plans to include 5 female members in the cabinet.
I want Afghan women involved in politics so that they can fight for their rights.
I don't think that every Afghan woman will vote for me because some support the Islamists and are under the influence of conservatives. But I hope that at least half of all Afghan women will vote for me.
Her performance in Bamiyan province has already earned her praise. There she introduced a public park and ensured local women were employed to take care of it.
The salary we get is ours to keep. We're more independent. It helps us live how we choose to. Before we had no money. We always had to ask our men for cash.
The park is located in the most beautiful part of the country, but it has not been profitable, especially in light of current security issues. Nevertheless, Habiba's tenure in office brought unprecedented freedom for women in this region, unlike other parts of the country dominated by conservative Islamists. For other female politicians in Afghanistan, like Fawzia Kufi, the story is quite different. Kufi is a member of parliament who often receives death threats from the Taliban. She's not running for president, but predicts a dark future for Afghanistan's women.
In general, the idea of negotiation and reconciliation with the Taliban involves a sacrifice of women's rights. It will limit the presence of women in politics. Already with the withdrawal of foreign troops, women's participation looks difficult.
Over the last 4 years, the Afghan parliament has continuously refused to pass a law criminalising violence against women, something Habiba plans to fight for if elected.
We know that most of Parliament is in the hands of radicals. There's a real divide on the question of this law on violence. My goal is to get lobbyists to negotiate with the radicals to show that Islam doesn't allow this.
If Habiba and her team are defeated, it'll be bad news for Afghan women. The electoral field is full of Islamists and warlords who are unlikely to address women's issues at all.
The desire to be